Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about character rigging. So I'm in Adobe Illustrator and I have a multi-layered file of this robot, and you can see in the layers panel that I've separated all the major parts into their own layers. And this is just to get the graphic assets into Adobe Animate. So hopping back over into Animate, I already did the import, and you can see in my library that I have a folder here with all of those different assets, and those are different movie clips within this one movie clip that's on the stage. So if I go into the movie clip, you'll see that I have all the layers, and what I need to do now is need to rig, and a character rig connects all of the pieces so that you can go ahead and animate. So if I were to move this arm right now, for example, you'll see that it's disconnected. It's not part of the character rig. Now, one of the important things about creating a character rig in Adobe Animate is to make sure that the center points are correct for each one of the objects. So for example, you can see here with the head selected, I've set the center point to where the neck is so the head can tilt back and forth. With the torso, it's down towards the bottom, towards the pelvis, so it can sway back and forth, etc. So the way that you do that is you do that with the transform tool, and then you can move this white circle, which is the center point, and you can see that I've already gone ahead and I've done that. So the last step that we need to do is actually create the rig. So there's a couple different methods to do this in Animate. The way that I'm going to do it was the new feature, which is layer parenting. So you can see that in the timeline, I have this option here for layer parenting. And before I do this, I want to make sure that we select an object that we want as the main parent. In that case, this is going to be the pelvis. And so everything is going to connect in a way to that object. So I'll start with showing parenting, and I'm going to select and the torso, and what I want to do with the torso is I want to parent that to the pelvis. So that will be connected. And you can see this line that connects the two objects together. So now they're connected. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue to create the relationships. So the parent of the head is the neck. Let's see, the left hand is parented by the left lower arm, and the lower left arm is parented by the upper left arm. The right hand is parented by the lower right arm. The lower right arm is parented by the upper right arm. Now the upper right arm should be parented to the torso, and the upper left arm should also be parented towards the torso as well. And then we have the legs. So the upper left leg should be parented to the torso, to the pelvis. The upper right leg, same thing, to the pelvis. And then the lower left leg gets parented to the upper left leg, and the lower right leg gets parented to the upper right leg. So I have all these relationships. One thing that I forgot here is the neck. The parent of the neck should be the torso. So now when I select objects and start moving them around, like if I grab the pelvis, you'll see that the entire object moves because that's the main parent. So now with all the parenting created, we should be able to animate the character doing different things. So I'm just going to try to zoom this in so we can see what we're doing here. Let me make some room here. So we have in this first frame, the character's not doing anything. So let's say if I go down, I'm going to go down to frame 45. And what I'm going to do here is hit F6 to create some keyframes. And I'll just show you an example. So I want to position, let's say I want to position, that should be parented the lower right leg is, the parent is the upper. So if I were to grab the rotate tool and rotate that, yeah, see, they move together. Same thing here. So if I grab this and rotate that, you'll see that those things move together. Same thing with this. Those move together. And then the head that should be able to bobble back and forth. And then the torso, this should be able to move. Yeah, there you go. Great, excellent. Now you notice that some things happen, like spaces. You see those spaces get created when we do that, and that's all in planning. So that's bad on my part. I should have planned for that. So let's try to do something with this character. We'll animate it a bit. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to rotate this arm this way. I'm going to grab the bottom and rotate that this way. Then I can take the hand and move it this way. And same thing here. And then move this and rotate that. You get the idea. So we have a change now from the first frame to the last frame. And then if we want to add tweening in between, we can do create a classic tween because we have those motions, and you can see you get an animation. So with this character rigging, and you can see also that the parenting creates a situation sometimes where the layers dip beneath. So there's another thing to be careful for. So that right arm is dipping underneath the torso. So I might need to move the torso down below the arms, maybe above the pelvis. And the relationships stay the same. So that works out a lot better. So the other thing about these relationships is that once you've created them, you can change them, you can pull them around. So that's another thing with these links. You can change them just by dragging. I'm not going to change them here, but that is possible. So that's rigging a character. In this particular situation, with this robot character, it's kind of static. There's not a lot that I can do. But I'll put another sample in the resources folder that you can download and play with. It's by an animator named Chris Georginas, and you can take a look at that. It's pretty similar to this, but it's a walk cycle or a run cycle. So have a look at that when you get a chance.